Hey, it's Becky. It's Secret Santa time again. This year, these incredible creators are all making gifts for each other. It feels like I've been invited to sit with the cool kids at lunch. I hope you're watching the whole series. This year, I pulled this old Tony's name. He's the most wildly entertaining machinist I've ever seen, and I admire him immensely. I was inspired by Tony's love of benders and bending, and I built him a toy from my childhood in the shape of a letter T. Do you remember this thing? It's got a magnetic spinning device that rides along the wire, and these little bends down here provide a turnaround point so you can, with some practice, get the spinner to move continuously along the track. Keep watching to see how I bent the wire, 3D printed the handle, and upgraded the spinner with a microcontroller and some color-changing LEDs. And watch me open my Secret Santa gift. This toy was first introduced as Wheelo, the magnetic walking wheel, in 1953 and remained popular for some decades. This ad is from '78.
When you've got a Wheelo, what have you got? A super magnetic mystery top. Wheelo, wheelo, spinning around, over and under and up and down.
I remember enjoying mine in the early 90s. Like a yo-yo, it was fun to see how long you could keep it going. And like a fidget spinner, there's some satisfaction in the manipulation of the gyroscopic force. To make my own, I'd need to bend a bunch of shapes out of wire, and those shapes would have to be aligned quite accurately to provide a consistent track for the wheel. To achieve such repeatable precision, I'm using the DIY Pro machine from Pensa Labs, a local company here in Brooklyn. This thing is a benchtop CNC wire former. I'm using 1/8" galvanized steel wire, but it can accommodate a wide variety of sizes and materials, and the tooling can be configured for wire, some tubing, and strapping. The included WireWare software is easy to use for prototyping and production. You can use path mode to draw or import a path and adjust its bends visually, or use script mode to directly edit the machine commands and G-code. These machines are configured and shipped with custom tooling for your needs, so if you're interested in picking up your own DIY Pro machine, mention my discount code when you reach out to the sales team. Thanks so much to Pensa Labs for loaning me the machine and making this project possible. I created my shape in Adobe Illustrator and exported it as 3 different SVGs. See, my design requires bends in 2 different planes, so I need to rotate the workpiece 90 degrees between the sections. After some training and experimenting, I got the hang of cranking out a whole bunch of the 3-part pieces needed to create my design. For connecting the pieces at the bottom, I whipped up a quick handle in Tinkercad. It's got grooves at the corners for the wires to sit in, and a second piece to cover the epoxy joints and wire ends. At first, I tried 3D printing the wheel as well, but my initial test showed that the magnetic core would need a bit more thought than I had time for on my deadline. See, these heavy magnets make up the axle of the wheel, but these bits on the end aren't magnets, they're just magnetized by proximity, and this injection molded bit fits all these parts perfectly, so I opted to remove the electronics from the existing plastic wheel and replace them with my own. The circuit isn't overly complex when you look at the diagram, but this build is exceptionally tiny, so the soldering is tricky and the positioning of everything matters a lot more, as does the gauge and length of the wires. This video is sponsored by Digi-Key, where you can find all the electronics parts and tools I used to build this project, including the Xiao RP2040, the lipoly battery and recharging board, the switch, the wire, the tiny LED strip, and the 3D printer filament. Check out the link in the description for the full write-up with links to everything, and thanks to Digi-Key for their continued support of my channel. I made a few of these wheels and experimented with different positioning of the LED strip. I settled on ringing the core with a strip on each side, which lit up the wheel more completely than the radial positioning I had tried at first. Made Tony one of my waxed canvas tool rolls, which was the subject of another build video here on my channel this year. Really, this Secret Santa thing is a big deal to me, so if you watch this far, especially if you're new to my channel, I really appreciate you taking the time. Please sound off with a clock emoji in the comments. My gift is here, and it's from Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy, for making me something small. Ooh, these are neat embossed metal stickers. Oh, yeah. Look, that's nice. It's like a tool chest, tool bag combo. A purse to store my tools in. Oh, and an ice pick. Thanks, Jimmy. Oh, and the giant utility blade. I got all the swag. Awesome. Thanks, Jimmy. This is amazing. It'd be great for when I go outside to do some work on my motorcycle or the van. And yeah, look, it's got a nice little stamp in there, and I have plenty of tools to start filling it up. Thanks, Jimmy. Make sure you go over to Jimmy's channel and check out the video where he made this. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. I hope you'll subscribe with the bell to be notified of my future uploads, subscribe to my email newsletter, and find me on Instagram and Twitter. Maybe not Twitter so much anymore. Check out the rest of the videos in the Secret Santa loop. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I've also got a new series over on the Digi-Key channel that is a beginner's guide to electronics prototyping. I'll put the playlist link in the description.
Another great toy by Tarco.